So I think we can get started then.
I am seeing.
So I'm Emily Levine, and this is Julie Quigley. And we're with the Autism Society of Southeastern Wisconsin. And we are happy to partner with Gemiini. So Nicholas and Brian, if you want to say a couple words.
Yeah, my name is Brian Casper. And Nicholas. We're founders of Gemiini. We're just an online program that helps support therapists and parents with video modeling content to teach different skills. And I'm a parent of 2 children with autism. Nicholas is a sibling of siblings with autism. So we're all very familiar with the issues that all the parents are facing.
So Julie is probably too modest to tell you, but she was a special education teacher for 15 years. She's got a master's degree in special education. She has 3 sons. All 3 of her sons are on the autism spectrum. They were originally diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, and they are awesome guys. So Julie, I'll let you take over.
All right. So my thing I had said before was that I had 3 teens on the autism spectrum, which is not true anymore. One turned 20. So I now have 14, 17, and 20-year-old. So that's kind of why we came up with this idea. I'm gonna share my screen with you now, and you don't have to look at me anymore. We can start to see, we're gonna talk about ways to, I hope if I can get this going here. Again, thanks for your patience with us with this. I'd like to be able to just show the PowerPoint though, instead of.
I don't know who that because you're in a PDF. Well, you are. So there you go.
There I am. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do a PDF today. Instead of the way it would be a little nicer. That's what we're gonna see. Can you guys see that halfway decently? You know what? It would really be nicer if I could do it the other way though.
What do you have on your books?
I have both.
So open the PDF. You open or open the PowerPoint because you've got the PDF up.
It would really be nicer for you guys if I could do it this way. And I'm sorry I called Emily in here at the last minute. She ran in here and ran.
I might have broken the speed limit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You know what? Just don't look, Emily. Close your eyes. Close your eyes while you don't watch what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. Sometimes it's probably not good that I tell my boss, close your eyes and don't watch what I'm doing. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to see. Okay, now, do you guys actually see a PDF slideshow now? Nicholas, Brian, are you? PowerPoint? Are you seeing the PowerPoint now?
We are not seeing the PowerPoint.
Okay.
I think you have to reshare your screen and choose the PowerPoint program.
All right.
There we go.
All right. Thank you once again for your patience, and hopefully we'll be smooth sailing here. Okay. So, and please holler at me if something looks funky. So this came from, I've got 3 boys, like I said, the 14, 17, and 20-year-old at home. And we're pretty intense on the social distancing because my husband is immune compromised, and we're pretty serious about our social distancing. But again, having 3 kids on the autism spectrum, as you can imagine, I don't want to go backwards and have any of the gains that we've made socially go in the opposite direction. So what are we going to do? How are we going to continue with the social gains moving forward with that in this time that society and health-wise we're being told no, we can't. So what are we going to do about that? Geocaching. So I don't know how many of you have heard of geocaching before. It's been around for a really long time. But it is, it's a real world outdoor treasure hunting game using a GPS enabled device. So basically use your phone, or you can buy a special device, a special GPS handheld device. Real fancy ones you can get, or a really basic one. Participants navigate to a specific set of GPS coordinates and then attempt to find the geocache or container hidden at that location. So I hadn't done this for a while, but it's something that I did when the kids were younger. It's something that you can go just about anywhere to go and try to find this. A lot of open spaces, going in a park and try to find this. It's something that lent itself really well to the different issues that we had when they were younger, but also spans itself across a lot of different age ranges. I would say this is something you can do when the kids are young, well into adulthood. I enjoy it. And so I hadn't done it in a while. So this morning, told the kids, all right, who's gonna go look and go geocaching with me? And actually, it wasn't like pulling teeth to get a couple of them to go. So my 14 and 20-year-old said, yeah, we'll go. So I went and on my phone, just went into the app store and downloaded one of the apps that was free, looked easy, had a pretty good rating for it, and headed to a park that I liked. It's a small park, just a small little hiking trail that we've been to lately. Just had a gut feeling that there would be a geocache there, or a cache for us to find, and there was. So we went into the parking lot and I looked at the app and found that there were 2 of them there at that park. And we just put it in and started heading in the direction that we saw that one of the caches was, and just continued to walk and follow the point on the phone. And we ended up finding it with just a couple minutes, within just a couple minutes. And it'll tell you too what the difficulty level is as you get a little better at this, and if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more. And in the end, it was just very similar to what it looks like on the picture, just hidden underneath a couple, in between some rocks and just under a couple little pieces of wood. And it was a container that was kind of covered in tape, and inside the container, which is pretty typical, was a notebook and pencil. So inside there, you write your name or initials and the date. And this one, there were probably 3 within the past week that people had signed that had found the same one. And then what's pretty typical is you leave a little trinket, like think a McDonald's toy or smaller. And sometimes you'll find like a quarter, someone will leave a quarter, something like of that size. You leave something and you take something, but you don't have to. Quite honestly, we didn't leave or take anything, but we signed our names and then just go on your way. So it's just kind of fun. It's a little treasure hunt, but it'll explain to you a little bit further what this is. I put a couple websites on there, and it's a worldwide thing that you can do, and people travel the world looking for these things. There's blogs that you can follow, but again, I think it's really relevant for any age. It'll get you out in get you out in nature, and it's something that that you can do while you're social distancing. Adults can go and talk to other people about it. Hey, did you find this geocache? Is a really cool one at this park. There's a couple actually in our neighborhood. There's one on our dog walking trail. So I'm sure we'll have to check that one out in the next couple days, but we hadn't done it in a really, really long time. And the kids were like, wait a second, I remember doing that. And all you need is a phone, and it's really simple to do. So I'm kind of excited myself about renewing that interest for us, because you can do it anywhere you are. Legos. There's so many different things you can do with Legos. My kids are so into competition with each other, most of the time in a negative way. So let's make it positive. And you can do it within your own home. You can do it with, everyone, well, like we are right now on Zoom. but there's so many different Zoom competitions or just for fun. So build a bridge and hold a competition either within with your family members or friends over Zoom, and whose bridge can hold like the most cans of soup. And the winner just gets bragging rights to say that you're in our house, the Quigley family wins over the Jones family, or we win, the Wisconsin family wins over the California family. And design it, and you can make it as sophisticated as you want to make it, but it really is something that can be adaptable for multiple levels of abilities. And it's just a time to get those Legos out that you probably have and are thinking of donating. It also can be used with Connects. It also can be used with blocks. It also could be used with, maybe you're like in my house and you're drinking too much soda. It could be used with soda cans. It could be used with sticks. It could be used, you really can use your imagination for this. You could say, all right, here's your bag, and go out in nature, and you've got 15 minutes to go collect things and then build your bridge. So you really can be very creative with it. And the friends that they're missing, if you're lucky and your kids have those friends, and I say that just because, again, I know how fortunate we are when our kids do have those friends, and it's really, really tough right now that we're not able to nurture those friendships. This is a way that maybe we can nurture those friendships and have a Zoom competition with them. Say, this is what we're going to do, and have that competition with those friends. Is we're going to say, go out in nature, find a bag full of stuff, and you're going to build a bridge and see how many pounds of whatever it can carry, and see who can hold the most, and just set some parameters around it, some rules around that. Pizza cook-off. Everyone loves pizza, except one of my son's girlfriends. She doesn't, and I don't know, it's been several years, but I'm considering if we're allowing her in the family or not, but I still got time, and I'm working on her. So, I'm kidding, if she ever watches this. A variety of ingredients available. Again, a lot of times with our kids, we're working on increasing and expanding their palate. It's time to do that. Can try to offer some adventurous ingredients. Try the pineapple, the white pizza with the white sauce, the barbecue sauce, the different kind of things, the blue cheese, which is actually one of my favorite things to put on pizza. But buy the crusts and put all of the different stuff out there and make some different kinds of pizzas. And you can make a 2-ingredient pizza dough, super, super easy. I've actually done this quite a few times since we've been in quarantine, with flour and Greek yogurt, and it makes a really, really good pizza dough. But I included the link for the recipe there. But super easy. Also, you can make bagels with it. But having just a pizza cook-off and encourage each other to try each other's pizzas, and it's just a really fun family activity to do. A regular cook-off. So I don't know what it is with this, but there are so many cooking shows on TV right now, and all 3 of my boys are very, very interested in watching them. I don't really understand it, but I need to find a way to embrace that. So, and have them help me with cooking these meals, because I'm cooking more meals than I ever have before. So let's have them pick a day a week and make a meal. Now I need to give them some parameters, because the one thinks that lobster macaroni and cheese is the way to go, and it has to be fresh lobster. Until I got lobster, and then he doesn't like it at all. So, but they may have to have some specific parameters. Tell them you need to make a grocery list, and this is about how much money you'd have for your groceries. Maybe have a casserole cook-off. So you could do it a couple different ways. You could have them have a day of the week, and then you could even make up a little rating sheet and see who gets the highest ratings for their meal. or you could have a casserole cook-off and try to see if you could maybe make a couple different casseroles per night, and then you know, see which casserole wins. Bring back the casseroles of, you know, 30 years ago or more. But it's really good for planning what ingredients need to be gotten. Maybe you are having people go out shopping or not. Maybe you're doing the click and pick up, and that's something really good for people to get used to doing too. But there's a lot to be learned within this, as far as the prepping stuff in the kitchen, as far as the measuring, as far as the planning of the ingredients, if there's different kinds of dietary needs within the family, working around that. But again, just working around the different palettes. You know, wouldn't it be nice if it wasn't always, you know, the main cook in the house who has to figure out what kind of food that you're going to make that night, and it's not just as easy as, I think this is what I want to have. Instead, okay, what will people actually eat? So sharing some of that, but you might get some very interesting things with presenting this idea of a cook-off, and might have some new meal ideas to add to your rotation. Same kind of idea, but maybe a little more fun. Cookie cook-off. And that one, though, you could do more within the same day, maybe signing up for shifts in the kitchen, because I would probably try to make that one the same day, or maybe over the course of 2 days if you have a larger family. You could form teams. Again, if you're looking more for that teamwork, trying to work together, I think I would form teams in my family, just because I'm trying to encourage that teamwork whenever I can. And maybe tell them that you're looking for creative recipes. Those taking those typical recipes and just putting their own little twist on it, or, you know, again, whatever, you make up the rules. But a cookie cook-off, and maybe even have someone else be the judge. Maybe have a neighbor be the judge if you're able to, or maybe even have presentation count and have someone be judging it over Zoom, or having it, if you're on social media at all. I've had people have on Facebook, have us judge on Facebook what we think, and actually have to vote. What do you vote on, 1 through 7? And if that counts as part of the judging of whatever cook-off that they're having. Movies. Movies are huge in our family. I wish they were as huge with the kids as they are with my husband and I, but that's a big deal in our house. And so several different layers of what I've been trying to do with movies. First of all, dollar store candy. And so the kids know when we are doing movies, I take out the special bag full of theater candy. And that number one gets their interest. So I spread that all out. I have a nice spread of that, and they get to pick out their movie candy. So there, I draw them in a little bit there. Next thing, and of course the popcorn. Next thing is they really like series of things. And if I can get them tied into a series, that is, that kind of lets me know I'm going to get them for more than one night of seeing a movie. Well, and not night, because there's no way I'm going to get them to sit down for more than one movie. But Back to the Future, I mean, that's my time of growing up. Big favorite of ours. So if I can get them to watch Back to the Future, then I'm probably going to get them to watch 2 and 3. Lethal Weapon is a series that we watched together. So then if I got them hooked on Lethal Weapon 1, I knew I was going to get them to watch 2 and 3. We got the Disney Channel because I thought that was a good idea. Then we ended up watching a couple different actors, and then they got a little hooked on a couple of the different actors. We ended up watching some movies from the 70s, and they found a little bit of interest in that. But another thing too is like Beauty and the Beast. And I was surprised to know I was real good with having my oldest watch some of these traditional movies, and then kind of forgot as number 2 and 3 came along to have them do these things. So going back and having them watch Beauty and the Beast, but then the new live action, not newer, but newer live action Beauty and the Beast. And then being able to talk about it and what do they think about it and which one do they prefer. Same with The Lion King, and which one do they prefer? Or if you're lucky enough, did you even see the musical The Lion King? And being able to compare that one too. So I find with my kids, being able to, it's the same as when they're reading books. They really enjoy series. So when I can get them in a series of movies, I find that I'm much more able to get them engaged in the talking and engaged in being able to join us for another movie night with less arguing about having to do another movie night. Card games. Bring back some of the old card games until they start beating you every time. That's the 14-year-old. He's a card shark. I tell you, he is. It's kind of funny watching him beat my husband, who thinks he's so good. Cribbage. It's a lot of fun playing cribbage with your kids. You know, that's and it's something that will stay with them forever. But it's just a great thing to teach them. They can play with the grandparents, and it's just in watching them try to teach someone else how to play. It's good math skills. It's good social skills with them, you know, with the talking back and forth and the little bit of ribbing you when they're beating you. And, but, you know, in all different variances, whatever ability levels that you're playing, everything from war, crazy eights, to sheep's head, cribbage, bridge, but bringing back some of those card games and again, playing it up with snacks, and gotta have your soda and your snacks, and really get into bringing out those card games is kind of fun to do. The library, of course, I have to throw a plug in here for our library with our sensory-friendly library coming up on June 7th at Germantown. But Germantown has a fantastic program where you can, on their website, fill out a form and drive up, and they will bring out to your car a bag of books based upon whatever you tell them. If you tell them that you like romance, Western romances, they will give you a bag of books that are Western romances. If you tell them that you want teen sci-fi and you'd like a craft in there too, they will give you a teen craft and sci-fi books and bring it out to your car. So I just think that's fantastic. But don't forget that libraries are opening up with social distancing, and as a family, act out the book. So, and you can even use like the old, you know, the young books from growing up, and use it as, you could do charades, but include using books as your base for it. But you could also do charades and just have them act out any book they want, or any kind of, they could just be reading a book. It'd be really nice, I know, if they're reading a book, but just have them act out some type of thing, and can you guess what that book was about? And again, it's just a way to get them engaged in talking about a book that they're reading. So we want to encourage them to continue reading, especially since they're not in school. And of course, remembering that it's an excuse for us to read too. Doesn't really matter what you're reading, but when they see us reading, that's them saying it's okay to read and it's a good thing to read. So even having a family time of, you know what, we're going to all read now for a few minutes, or books on tape, or sorry, books on CD, doing that as a family too. We tried one for a while. We're going to do a half hour a day of all sitting down and listening to one. I'm going to go back to trying that again. I don't think we picked a really good one to start with. It just had a slow start, but we enjoy those a lot in the car when we go on car trips. So that's another thing, getting getting the teens involved, and again, really any age, but listening to that book together, because it's something to really engage everyone in a conversation about it after you listen to your half hour. Do good surprise. We all can use more of this. Work on a potted flower arrangement together, and just to put in your yard, to give to your neighbor, to give to someone that you're just not able to see very much right now, making some cards and mailing them out. Chalk drawings. I go out and walk every morning and I see the many chalk drawings that are out there. I know a lot of you have seen them on social media, the beautiful drawings. Mine would never make it on those beautiful social media things, but you know, you can draw anything and put it on your driveway because the rain will wash it away. But painted rocks, and I've seen some actually out on walks too. So grab some nice flat rocks and paint some with some inspirational sayings, or draw some inspirational sayings on them, and people dropping them off around town. Or pick up trash in the neighborhood. I used to do this when I was teaching. I would give the kids each a bag and a pair of gloves. The custodians absolutely loved me. And I would say we had 15 minutes and see who collected the most trash. And I would literally weigh it when they came back, and the winners got a prize. So you could do it within your family, you know, when you're out on a walk, and see who collects the most trash, and the winner doesn't have to do dishes, or the winner can get out of some kind of a chore, or you know, make it a contest, and it's helping the neighborhood, and it's doing something good for the neighborhood. So take a hike, you know, go on a hike and see how much trash you guys can pick up, and make sure you're being responsible with your gloves and all of that type of stuff. Or if you can go to the dollar store, if you are going out and doing those things, or Amazon, which is a lot of us are ordering stuff on Amazon. Get those pincher things where you don't even need to touch the trash yourself. The Wii, dig out your Wii, and the Wii has some fantastic games that that we can play on. Just Dance, a lot of fun to be using. Mario Kart, I lose every single time on the Mario Kart. Wii Sports, bowling is a big favorite in our family. And a couple of my kids were on bowling leagues, and those got canceled. So we'll have bowling competitions, and I feel like they're almost doing sports, kind of being a little bit active. Boxing, golf, really lends itself to a lot of these different things. But we'll actually have a night where we'll say we'll do Wii for a little bit, and it'll get the family engaged with each other for a little bit of time. So that's something that we'll enjoy. You don't know Jack. This can be a little bit sassy at times, but it's available for different game systems and can be a lot of fun. Can also be very loud if you have people in your family like mine. But let me tell you, if I say we'll play You Don't Know Jack, I don't need to ask twice. And we all take our phones, and it'll ask a question, and you make up an answer, and then you vote on which you think is the real answer, and whoever gets the most votes, like you tricked the people the most, you get points for that. And you'll find out some people are really good at making up things that sound real. I'm really pretty good at doing that. But it's a really fun kind of game, available for a lot of different systems. And look it up, you can find more details on it, but you'll find a lot of people know about this. I didn't find out about it till about a year or so ago, but it's a pretty old game. You Don't Know Jack, and a lot of fun, and a really big hit among the teens and adults. App night. you know, because they're on the games already. So I figure, why not? They're always asking, will you play this with me? Will you play this with me? So everyone searches for a new app, whether it's on your phone, whatever system you're on, because I am always saying no. I am. And so they say, this is a new app I found, and everyone has to download it onto their device and have to give it 10 minutes to try it. So you put certain parameters on it, like it has to be a free app, it has to be, you know, a rating E for everyone, or whatever parameters that you say. It has to be whatever. It can't be a such and such game. It can't have violence in it. It can't have this in it, or whatever are the rules within your family. But I think it lets our kids know that they are being heard, that their choices are being respected. We are listening to them, and we are trying what is important to them. So I think it would be a neat opportunity to have everyone in the family try what they want us to try.
And Julie, if I can chime in, this is Brian. I know some of the classic board games have great apps. Our family plays Risk.
Okay. Yep.
And if you know the game of Risk, it's much quicker.
For sure.
And so I would highly recommend that and Scrabble. They have great apps. So if you, the nice thing is, if you already know it, you know, Risk will allow up to 6 players to play. You can all be on your phones. A full Risk game takes only about 20 minutes because if you've ever played, all the rolling it just automatic. You have 100 armies versus 8 and whatever. It just takes care of it. So that is our family's go-to.
Okay, we do have the Risk board game, and we have played that, so we will have to try that app. Thank you for that. Okay, very good. What I did, especially at first, I did really well, and I'll tell you, I slacked off for May, but I thought I will put it back up for June. So this is our June one. Is putting everything on the weekly schedule for the month. And the kids really like this because they know what to look forward to. They'll actually check this off. They'll be like, what do we got tonight? What are we doing tonight? Or whose pick is it tonight? They love when it's their pick, when they get to decide what the family's going to do. But they really, you know, they don't like surprises. They like to plan. They like a schedule. And when it's there, it's just posted on the refrigerator what our schedule is for this. They really, really like this. So I know not everyone can do this with work stuff and work schedules, and the 20-year-old is just he just kind of blew up my world with his work schedule right now, but that's good because he's getting out and being able to socialize with people that way. But this really helps the family, and I saw that it really brought people together, and it had much less arguing about what we were doing because they saw this. It was put out there ahead of time, so it is what it is, and they know what I say is going to happen is going to happen, so just don't bother arguing with me about it. And so this helped a lot, is putting that schedule out there for the month. And I might cross something off and switch it later, but it's visual. It's out there ahead of time. It's a schedule that they can see. So I found very helpful. And here is where I want to open it up to more ideas for everyone else to share. So I'm going to take my screen sharing off there and see who else has ideas. So Brian, that was a great one, and I definitely am going to take that back home. So anyone else? Any more ideas to share? Any questions about any of that?
One of the things I know, and this is actually for our neurotypical 24-year-old who really didn't have any cooking skills and didn't seem to be excited about cooking. We ordered one of those boxed meal programs that come to you. They're Blue Apron. They're all the different ones. And it comes with, because sometimes you as a parent, I cook, you just kind of have your own style. And so the kids don't get a lot of variety. And these will come with different spices, different things. There are cards with pictures. And he's really taken to learning he's all of a sudden excited how to cook, where he was a fast food guy. And now he saves the little condiments and tries. You got a 24-year-old boy, getting excited about cooking now. So.
We did do that. We did that at one time too. And that's another, just even bringing that up, we did that probably 2 years or so ago. But the kids were actually really involved in doing that too, because it's very methodical about, what you need to do. And I think that would be really, really a good time for doing that now too. So
yeah, and it's not that expensive for what it is. And, so I consider it almost like a family cooking class.
Yeah, great idea. Yeah. All right, I got to write that down too.
Do any of the parents here have any ideas? You can just unmute yourself and speak.
And I see some people are writing some things in the chat. Patrice said their family likes to go bike riding and exploring new trails. Absolutely. And berry picking together. Strawberry picking is going to be starting in about 2 weeks, Patrice, I think?
Yeah, strawberries are normally mid-late June.
One thing also to think about is bringing up things that your child used to like. Like my son loves bubbles, and he would die if he knew I was saying this. So that's why I have my mask on. You can't tell who I am. Mm-hmm. But we still do sometimes just sit in the backyard and blow bubbles. The other thing that he really likes is he likes playing catch with his dad. We're all baseball fans and we're all bummed out that there's no baseball this year. But he and his dad will just go in the yard and have a catch. And it's he has to watch. He has to pay attention to what's happening. And it's sort of like a conversation, even though they don't really talk. It is that kind of back and forth, which is really touching to see.
Nice. Hey, Kyle. Kyle said JJ's 13, nonverbal, and he loves Jenga. Yeah, he likes to hear it fall, doesn't he, Kyle? Mm-hmm. And Suzanne said, looking for thoughts for a family with only one child. It's hard to have those teams.
One of the games for one child that I find works is concentration. You take the cards and you array them in a square and then you try to find them. And it's interesting. I have 7 children. One of my neurotypical daughters was never competitive at all. And she didn't like competing. She wanted to be a team. She always said, what can we do that's cooperative? And one of the things we did is we took concentration and as a team making turns, tried to see how few turns we could solve the whole thing. So we were working together to get in 13 turns, we were able to clear it. And that seemed to be very cooperative and very fun. And I think if you go back to all of these old school things, just checkers and Risk and all the things that we used to do when we didn't have internet, they can really solve some problems and get some time going. I know with one of my sons, we just simply had a ping pong ball and we put 2 coffee mugs and we were about 8 feet apart and we tried to bounce the ball into the coffee mugs. It's been a long time doing that because it's hard and you always feel like you're so close and you hit the lid. And anyway, I think if you just get creative inside, there are just so many things where the rules are simple and you can spend a lot of time doing them.
If you have a son or daughter who's really good at pattern recognition, there's a card game called Sets, S-E-T-S, and you make sets out of, they're just cards that every card has a different shape, different color, and different, it could be hollow or it could have a pattern. And you have to find sets of cards that are all the same or all different. And that's a card game that my son can always win at because he's really good at the pattern recognition. And again, it's something that it doesn't have, it's not like a old lady game, like she
Yeah.
said, right, Julie?
I am old. It's okay.
And surprisingly, there are quite a few books, you can get them online, is The Basics of Drawing, where you don't have to be an artist, just teaching perspective on how you draw those lines to the horizon, teaching how to do basic shading, how to draw a cube, how to draw in 3D. And they're very methodical. And a lot of kids on the spectrum in the teens would clearly get it. And it's fun when you kind of figure out that, oh, there are techniques to this.
Another one that would be very methodical and an arts and craft kind of thing is origami.
Yeah.
Basic origami can be very simple, and it's something that if they have an interest in it, it can be extremely difficult at the higher levels. So there's lots of patterns. There's if you make 1,000 paper cranes, making a wish kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, especially if they got good at it, if you wanted to do good, you could make origami and go around and give it to little kids, kind of combining your other project.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. It's just a piece of paper. And I've done origami before. There are people who spell specialty papers. There are papers that look like dinosaur skin. So when you make an origami dinosaur, it's that thing. So anyway, that's a great idea, Nicholas.
Patrice,
Do you know that they can, they have origami competitions?
Oh, that's cool.
They're on pay-per-view.
See,
Wah, wah.
she can't even show her face. See?
And the other thing that is that I do that's fun is there are a couple of YouTube channels that talk about how to make arts and crafts out of basic boxes. And it's a little dangerous because you do need a box cutter, obviously, to do it, and you need a glue gun. But it's inexpensive, and you can make dinosaurs, castles. I mean, the sky's the limit, and the supermarkets are more than happy to give you lots of boxes.
Huh.
So,
Patrice,
and just as a warning, when you do it, it's hard to throw them out. So you have to kind of throw out your creations.
Yeah. Patrice had some ideas I just wanted to read in regards to the 2 people. Water balloon toss. Badminton works with only 2 people, and she said her audio's not working, so that's why. And she said with the badminton, you don't really even need a net, just a bat and the shuttle back and forth. That as far as not having, just having the one child, that's why the Zoom things and the cake decorating too is what a couple of these ideas I've seen families use and do and share over Facebook and have these contests over Facebook with different families. So they may have one child in their family or, one parent with the one child, and have these contests with someone in a different state. And then the families are asking for people to judge them. All right, what do people think about, this cake versus this cake versus this cake? And I've been in many cake judging competitions with them doing that. So it's just the one home versus the other home. So some of these you can do like that. So your home is your team.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Oh, we lost her. Anyone else? Any more ideas? These are great ideas. Taking notes.
One thing, and I don't know, just personally, don't have any kids, but with my little siblings, and there's several of them, especially in the teenage years, that Halloween is a couple months away. And so if you have a favorite character or something, there's a long-term project of slowly putting together pieces. You can, if that character has armor or a specific costume, you can slowly be looking at patterns and putting together a good cosplay of that character for Halloween.
What a great idea.
Instead of the scramble, the 2 days before.
Months to prepare, and then they can get excited for it.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
I think we're gonna wrap up then. Thanks, everybody. Got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And so let's see if we just go. I'm going to go onto our schedule just so we mention that. Where are these?
Thank you. Yes.
Shoot,
Next week.
I got to go onto the other. So next week, Thursday, 6/11, we have a Gemini seminar, how to increase and maximize the frequency of communication moments, the do's and don'ts of parent communication. That will be presented by the head of content for Gemini. She is a parent of 2 teens on the spectrum, and she is a 13 years in special education. So she's got some in the trenches knowledge of how to do that. And that will be at 8 p.m. And I think the Zoom address is already on the Autism Society website, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Facebook events.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. This was great. Lots of great ideas. I'll use some myself.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks,
Me too.
everybody.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.